So there are people that are into some weird stuff.
Yeah.
What is your take on this?
Well, I believe it's cryptids or interdimensionals who are just like slicing and dicing, getting into weird stuff.
It's just getting into weird stuff, right?
No, but they're not humans.
No.
When people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken and snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing. Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters.
Welcome to Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters, aka
Highway to the danger zone. My voice is getting so good.
Okay, bro, this is gonna be a different Sam on this show.
Why?
I'm telling you right now.
Why, bro?
Lots of smiles.
Yeah.
I hate watching myself.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see our show, and I'm just too serious on this show. So smiling Sam.
Well, you know what it is? You feel deeply about the subjects. You feel deeply about what's going on. You want an enemy to lash out at. You hate that you're shadow boxing all the time. You hate that you have a fake enemy. And you hate that I shed light on how complicated and multivariable this problem is, and these problems are. And I think that when you're in the presence of intellectual power,
yeah.
like
by the way,
caged heat.
You can't wear sandals and talk about being an intellectual power.
Well, they're flip flops and they're bespoke flip flops. They're high end toe holds, as we know.
Respect.
The point is, Sam, I'm a little sore today, so you're probably going to get lower energy, Bryan. I had to reel in. I had to reel in 2 8-foot, 9-foot sturgeon, and that's they can fight. They stay on the bottom of the lake. Now, Daddy didn't realize how much of your legs and back go into reeling a monster of the deep goes into it. But my legs, my front quads have a wonderful soreness. My crank muscles, I didn't even know I had crank muscles, are taxed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what? This is why we're the #1 fishing podcast in the world.
That's right, buddy.
People come to hear about fishing.
That's right. And hey, Portland, just want all of the mayor and everybody in Portland to know that you guys are doing a terrible job. And
it's all terrible, but the question is it done on purpose? But I'd like to start off with some. If you want to see Bryan Callen live, go to thebryancallen.com.
Yeah.
He's got dates everywhere.
Yeah, I'll be in Port Charlotte.
Port Charlotte.
May 5 and 6.
He's literally doing stamp on a port.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go to samtripoli.com. We got Reno coming up. I just added some fun dates, and I'm going to Mississippi. I'm going to Louisiana. And then I got San Diego. And I'm going to shoot my special towards the end of June, just figuring out the right date. Anyway, so I want to start out the show by doing something I think is very important on the show, is to admit when you're wrong. You got to admit when you're wrong, and Daddy was wrong. Okay, we were discussing the clip from Bill Maher's show, in which they were talking about the trans shooter, and I felt the one guy was upset that they misgendered him. Dylan said, "No, I think he's actually on your side,"
yes,
and I go,
"Yes, he is."
And I go, "No, because I saw nothing in the internet saying that." And then I finally saw another clip. And Dylan was 100% correctly. So you can't see Dylan, but you'll hear Dylan ring the bell.
So when I was in Portland, this gender ideology is hilarious.
You deserve that, Dylan. Yeah. You were right. Sammy was wrong.
This is just gender ideology. You've got more. You can tell how blue and far left and crazy a city is by the number of zombies walking around, and by the number of stores that close down, and how they're in CVS in the shelves in the middle of the aisles eating food.
Yeah.
And you can tell that. And then how many men are in dresses with makeup. You can tell that too.
Well, it's just like it's just like there's a lot of people that are pushing back, but these big cities are losing. They're losing.
It's what happens when white people never go that long without a war, a famine, or any pestilence.
Well, it's just like all your basic needs now are taken care of, and now you wander into stuff that thinks will get you what another thing you want, which is fight and flight and attention.
Correct.
That's what it is.
This is correct.
And it's like, I was thinking about like why is Texas football, the college football team, never able to get to that next level in playing, and they keep bringing in coach after coach, and they keep failing. I go, if I'm a recruit, right, and I go to Austin, and I just look around, like, there's homeless everywhere. Why do I want to go play in Austin? Why don't you go play in all these other cities that don't have the homeless problem? So it's like it starts having ripple effects on more than just the city, like the sports teams and everything like that. And these people just don't understand. And it does not matter how bad the results get, because they only care about being right and not doing right.
That's 100% right. And they're also, you said homeless. I just want you to know the mayor of Portland is upset with that right now because he probably watches this show. He probably watches this show. It's actually, they call them homeless campers. So they call them. They call them. I'm sorry. They call them unhoused campers. Unhoused campers.
Listen, as bad as this is,
Ted Wheeler.
At the end of the day, they got a chance to install their politics, and we saw the results. They crash and burn because the whole idea was, what they're saying is that systems are set that certain people walk into and they're automatically behind the eight ball. They already got 2 strikes against them. So what these cities like San Francisco, Portland, Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York have done is remove these systems and go, okay, these systems are no longer, you're going to work free. And guess what we found out? They do the exact same thing.
Well, I like how Cory Booker and this other insane congressperson.
You lost me right there. You said, I like what Cory Booker.
No, you're right. You're right. No, I like how Cory Booker and this other insane person in Congress are now saying that if you are at the border, if you're pregnant, if you've witnessed a crime, if you have been a victim of a crime, if you've witnessed a crime, or if you're LGBTQ, you should be allowed in automatically. Now, what kind of gaydar and transdar are we using at the border? I'm just wondering, because if you don't think you're going to have entire groups of men in wigs saying I'm trans, you're out of your mind. It's so easy to game the system.
Sense.
Illegal aliens who are LGBT group may not be detained under Democrats' new law bill. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. These people are so out of their minds. They're so out of their minds. You don't see how easy it is. Well, they're just
I mean, like this new bill.
They're enemies of their country. They're enemies of my country.
Well, what they're doing is, you got Joe Biden, who just smirked over there, the communist anarchist.
You're gonna have entire groups of men.
Why are you talking
in lines,
to me? I'm not
in wigs and dresses. Watch.
It's just like the notion that somebody who's gay, like, what do you say? You keep trying to tell me, and again, I just want to state it because there's people coming out of the woodwork and saying stupid things to me. I am not anti-gay. I'm not anti-trans. I'm not anti any of that stuff. As long as you don't hurt people, and particularly children, you won't have any problems with me. Keep your shit to yourself. Whatever you do, you and your at home is your own thing. I don't care.
Agreed.
I don't care. I'm not going to micromanage everybody's life.
No.
It just doesn't work like that. We've already tried that. And what we find out, all the people who hated the gays were secretly gay and all this shit. And it's just like, it doesn't even make any sense. Yeah. So I don't even care anymore. Live your freaking life. I don't care. As long as you don't hurt people.
You believe children. Borders are reasonable.
Right? But what you're telling me that everyone should be treated equal, and then you try to pass a bill in which you're saying that these people need special treatment. Why does a gay person need to get through the border quicker? What is that? What are you saying to me?
Because the logic would be that they are They are discriminated against. And
Where is this discrimination
in other countries?
Where is it? Where is it? Listen, man. You know, when it comes to these bills with gay people and gay teachers, listen, man. Listen, you think we just don't want you talking to the 3-year-old or third graders about gay sex? No, we don't want any sex. We don't want, it's not drag queen story hour. We don't want strippers coming in teaching kids about math. We don't want that.
Don't sexualize my children.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous. Like you just want to act like this stuff is unique to you.
I know,
and
but
it's not.
what's crazy is that you're making common sense. What is this, mouse?
Do you think that should be banned?
No, not at all.
Because there's I do have to say it's really sad to see Sam fall for a psyop because Sam's usually not.
Okay, what is the psyop?
He might be falling for a psyop.
Yeah, he's falling for a psyop.
Drag shows. This all might be the problem with all this stuff is that the right is guilty of what the left is as well. All politics becomes local when you can develop patterns with social media. So watch this. So now, like, what they're doing is like, so there are 3 incidents where people were shot mistakenly, right? So some cheerleaders were shot in a car. This guy was shot. This boy was shot by an 84-year-old man. And these are in a country of 330 million. You have these 3 unfortunate, terrible accidents. And what the media does, and what we all do, is because our brains love patterns. They blast you with all these things that are happening. Now we have a major gun problem because guess what? People are being shot by accident left and right. It's not true. It's always happened. It's not on the rise. It's always been this way. It's just that now with social media and now with the prevalence of 24-hour media cycles, you can create these clusters and patterns. It's what you do if you want to sell clicks.
It goes back to the guy that you had on your guest, which called about p-hacking, which is selecting data, presenting it as all the data, when in reality it's just a fraction of the data. Yeah. So I mean, you're totally right. Yeah. Everything it's all. The more and more I do this, the more and more I start going. It's all theater. It is everything. Not that these things don't happen, but the amplification of these things is part of the theater.
But us on our side, we have to also remember when that's happening too.
But the drag queen story hour is happening, right? You would agree on that, right? Yeah, and it is an anti-drag. I've been to drag shows. Yeah. They're entertaining. It's anti-sexualization of children.
That's right.
And I'm sorry, they don't come dressed as nurses because then, or I mean, not even nurses because you can sexualize nurses, like a secretary, not like a hot secretary, just a regular like pantsuit secretary, right? And you could be like, wow, that's just an ugly chick, right? But no, they come dressed like street hookers. It's like in the and the way people like from the left, they've just made it into an emotional argument. That's all it is. It's just an emotional argument. You just see that the right doesn't like it, so you're defending it at all costs. When secretly behind closed doors, I know a lot of people who are like fighting for drag queens that are against this whole trans taking over feminist stuff. And I'm like, why? That's my biggest problem with everything, right? Is that everybody is saying something out front, but behind closed doors, they're saying 180. I hate that, man.
I think everybody is way more reasonable than you. When you walk around the world, you realize everybody's so much more reasonable than the media.
100%. We agree on 99% of it.
People on the left, people on the right, even if that's a thing. Because most of us are like, for me, I'm politically homeless because I'm on the left in some ways, I'm on the right in other ways. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what I am. Like people go, are you a Democrat or Republican? Are you a left wing or a right wing? What's the issue you're talking about? Give me an issue.
Yeah.
Like what issue are you talking about?
Yeah.
Overall, broadly speaking, I believe in meritocracy. Broadly speaking, I believe that there are 2 genders. Broadly speaking, it doesn't mean I want to censor gender benders.
Yeah.
Broadly speaking, I'm a free market capitalist, but that doesn't mean I don't think there should be some government regulation. You know, so it's trade-offs. It's messy. I don't know. Sometimes maybe I don't know. It depends. Those are good words to use.
It's interesting. I'll tell you that, man. And so today there were 2 big firings, right? 2 giant firings. And it's very hilarious because they basically got fired for two different reasons. And one is Tucker Carlson.
Oh, yeah.
Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox News. And then Don Lemon got fired from CNN.
He did?
Yes.
Damn.
And it's so hilarious because both of them were at the opposite end of the spectrum in ratings.
Oh, wow. I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. I agree. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. It is clear that there are larger issues at play. With that said, I want to thank my colleagues and the many teams I have worked with in my incredible run. They are the most talented journalists in the business, and I wish them all the best. I agree that when you see, this is where the left and this is where corporations, this is where 17 years,
Yeah, but
say
Bryan,
what you will about that guy. He worked hard.
Bryan, you can't say what you will about that guy because we don't know how he treated people. I mean, and there's stuff that's come out that he's treated people horribly.
You know what? Yeah, we do. And by the way, yeah, we do. This is a guy who's now a victim of the ideology that coddled him for so long.
Yeah, but Bryan, let's just say, what makes more sense? He treated everybody well and they fired him and they didn't tell him, or he treated people like crap and they're just like, you're terminated. What do you think?
I think what happened with Don Lemon was he said a woman isn't in her prime. This woman isn't in her prime, and I think it became, let's get another dude out. That's what I think. I think let's get another guy out and watch his replacement. It'll be a woman. It'll be someone. It's a snake. This revolution is a snake eating its own tail on the left. It is a circular firing line.
Yeah,
and
but Don
Lemon was an ally. And I actually, there's a lot about Don Lemon I like.
See Sam smiling now. I
like Don Lemon a lot. I didn't agree with him, but I liked him.
Bryan, his ratings crash and burn. He represents the CNN at this new administration.
That's different, though.
No, it's not.
No, I'm saying if his ratings were bad, I understand that, but how interesting that they didn't even tell him. They just fire you after 17 years.
Because I'm telling you, you didn't treat people well there. You're acting for kindness when you gave none.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
Okay, so everything coming out is a lie.
No, the reason I don't think that we know that, Sam, is they build a case behind your back. And what they do is they cherry pick. So if he'd been there for 17 years and he was making that much money, he was doing something.
Bryan,
right. He no longer became useful.
No, Bryan.
Are you defending CNN?
These smiles are
Are you defending CNN though?
Yeah.
No, I think whole thing is crap.
But if somebody works for you for 17 years,
Bryan, what Don Lemon represents is misinformation.
CNN. He represents CNN. He's their poster
and they're
boy.
trying to get away from that. But based on also all these stories that are coming out about him and how he treated people,
I got skeptical hippo eyes. Like a guy in that position is always going to have people that dislike you.
Is there anything that told you when Don Lemon on screen wasn't like that off screen? Like, is there anything like Don Lemon was just a sassy bitch on screen, and then off screen he was just sunshine and blue skies? Is that what you're really? Is there anything about Don Lemon that makes you think?
I don't think you have to be sunshine and blue skies when you work in a corporation or in a business. I'm not sunshine and blue skies. I think you have to be honest, and sometimes people are assholes. But here's what I think. I think Don Lemon probably became a ratings liability, or CNN is trying to make some desperate changes because they can't pay the bills.
Well, so isn't the Tucker firing more?
Well, the Tucker firing,
we'll get to that in a second.
No. The Tucker firing is this thing that I've been telling everybody. We are in an anti-business era. It makes no sense to fire Tucker Carlson when he's getting all the ratings.
I'll tell you why I think it does.
On our way to the neighborhood of
I got news for you. I got news for you, buddy. Watch this. I'll tell you why Tucker got fired. Here's what I think. Don Lemon, I think, is the left eating its own young as usual. The left doesn't know where it stands. The left is getting crazier and crazier. CNN, you know what? You reap what you sow. Right? You live by the sword, die by the sword, and that's CNN, and that's Don Lemon. Okay? These people are not your friend. They turn on their own. All that stuff. All good. All right. Nobody's woke enough. And you can say one thing out of character, slip up once, you're dead. You got people who are getting fired after 30 years because they had an inappropriate relationship with just somebody, a consensual relationship, in the office. You've got all this stuff.
Who is that?
The NBC, Shell just got fired. Ron Meyer before that.
Okay.
So these are people who've been in the business forever. They were banging the intern. Or they were banging
Jeff Zucker
colleague
as well.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Zucker, or as we like to call him, network aides. Go on.
But they were all consensual. But it's like we're living in this is the rise of the new Puritans on the left. The rise of the new Puritans.
I like that.
It is the rise of the new Puritans. They're not religious, but they're very religious. They're more religious than the Amish. No dancing, no looking at each other, no touching, no sex, no talking about sex. You said a bad word, you're fired. That's literally what goes on with the new Puritans.
Right.
And that's okay. Human beings are religious. They're obsessed with purity. All of us. Okay. Tucker Carlson, here's what I think. Here's my conspiracy. He showed inconsistency. With those emails and those texts, I despise, I can't stand Trump, and yet he's defending the rigged election narrative in one way or another. Okay. That's a liability because there are a lot of older viewers of Fox who go, hold on. We trusted you. You were saying something behind the scenes that you weren't saying in front of the camera. All right? Do you disagree with that?
Brian.
He was doing that,
Brian,
right?
what you're saying.
Was he doing that or not?
Hold on. You asked me a question.
All right.
Please allow me to answer it.
And if you want me to hit a sound effect, I absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go hit it.
Go ahead.
I love to hear it. Brian, you're killing with the audience.
Why are they laughing at that? All right, why are they doing that?
Listen,
Sam.
So, Brian, I'm just going to discuss the point you just made. That Tucker's inconsistency would affect his view or how he is viewed by the older viewers of Fox News. And I tell you that the data suggests you're wrong, sir. Okay,
You think so?
Because his numbers keep going up. He's not losing any viewers. He's actually the only one outside of the comedy show. What's his name? Gunfield or whatever.
Gutfield. No. You might be right. I didn't know that. If that's true, I accept that.
Yeah, he's like destroying everybody.
Yeah, but here's what you're missing. I think.
But your point is that your point was wrong.
Well,
Thank you.
My point is that that Fox.
Smiles.
No. I think Fox's conversation is that a lot of people from Sean Hannity to Maria Bartiromo, whatever her name is, and Tucker Carlson were all saying something different behind the scenes.
Which is why they lost the lawsuit, which wasn't... See, everybody, including Bryan, is looking at this lawsuit as, they discussed whether Dominion had rigged the election. No, that wasn't what the whole lawsuit was about. It was did they basically defame Dominion by stating something publicly and believing something in the private that was
also you had Hannity and people begging the Trump administration for more evidence on Dominion's hijinks. Okay, you did. You did. That's a matter.
I would like to know why Dylan
problem.
thinks I'm in fantasy land.
Wait, Dylan, what?
Well, this is just a non-starter.
Oh, no, hold on. Here's why Tucker
Carlson. We can't talk about Dominion on this show, right?
Here's Tucker Carlson. Why he got fired.
He's already said we can't talk.
Gentlemen,
stop.
Gentlemen, here's why Tucker Carlson got fired. There's another lawsuit looming. There's another lawsuit looming.
Yeah,
and it is from another voting machine company. And here's the thing, my friend. They remember in lawsuits you go into discovery where you have to disclose all your back channel conversations. I have a feeling, Sam, that there was a lot more in that treasure chest than made the news, and Fox knew it, and they had to get rid of people like Tucker, etc. And that was probably part of saving their future behinds because they got another large check they're going to have to cut. I think that's what's really going on.
$787
the largest settlement ever. Dominion would never make that money. They were never going to make that money. And that's how much money. I mean, talk about a payday for them. They weren't going to make that much money with their machines. I mean, maybe eventually, but that's a crazy number.
And it sets a precedent for future lawsuits.
Now, all Fox has, all any news organization has, is their credibility. Look what happened to CNN as more and more of us were like, you guys had this ticker, you had this COVID death ticker, and we realized it was all bullshit. It was all bullshit. It was just for us to watch. And you guys were citing these numbers, and you were just all liars without any of the details. Interesting. They lost their ratings. Nobody started watching them. They only watched them in airports. To your point, people weren't watching that. So here we go. It's a good thing. It's a reckoning. Do you disagree with anything I've said?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the basis of the show.
You disagree?
With what?
What I just said about the looming lawsuit and why
it's
Tucker
possible.
got fired.
I mean, Bryan, you know me. I'm a conspiracy theorist, which means I tend to be right, and based on the last for a while now. And this is all theater. Murdoch's got money coming out of his beehole. He's gonna get a bailout once they do the big Fed bailout. Because the fun part of this is that the people who own Dominion also own Fox News. It's the same people. So it's like when everybody's going off, I'm like, stop. I'm leaving Bud Light. I'm going to go drink Coors Light. Guess who owns both? The same people. BlackRock.
No.
Bryan, stop.
Oh, the same people? You mean Anheuser-Busch is owned by BlackRock? Sam? Are you saying that... hold on, this is great.
Yeah, and if you make another sheep noise, you got to get hit with a yellow card because we can't have. That's not a debate, right?
Yeah, that's not a debating point.
Animal sound effects are
you're not allowed to do sheep. You're not allowed to do sheep.
Okay, because I really want to do it.
You're not allowed to do.
Okay, go on.
Things.
Now state what you were going to state.
Well, what I'm saying is that Sam, at the end of the day, you have two antagonistic companies at each other. Now, if you're going to start telling me that BlackRock owns both companies, I'm going to ask Dylan, our trusty researcher, to look up how much of Dominion does BlackRock own and how much of Fox does BlackRock own. Go.
Dominion is owned in part 76% by Staple Street Capital and 12% by Pennant Park Investment. Now, allow me some time to delve further into this
Bryan, you're
hole,
just ridiculous. I just need you to know that.
And Rupert Murdoch owns Fox.
Bryan, okay.
Yes. Do you think that BlackRock is playing games in their castle? Do you think that Steve Schwartz is playing games?
Yeah, 100%, Bryan.
Is Steve, hold on, I got to be quick.
100%.
Is Steve Schwartz part of the Illuminati?
There we go, Bryan.
Is he part of the Illuminati?
Who?
Steve Schwartz.
Who?
The owner of BlackRock, Steve Schwartz.
That's not who owns BlackRock.
Oh, maybe a Blackstone. BlackRock
Larry
is owned
Fink
by Larry Fink.
is who owns.
Is Larry Fink the one who is controlling this lawsuit?
My point is that he owns BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, own giant chunks of every single major corporation on planet Earth. On planet Earth.
It's true. They own a lot. But
Of everything. So even if this guy knucklehead over here, with smiles on my face, okay, looks up all these things, you would have to look up who owns them, then who owns them, then who owns them. Because that's how it goes, Bryan. That's how it goes.
Not really.
Okay.
They don't have control.
Can we go to another story because
So do you think
it's hard for me to smile.
So do you think that Larry Fink is on the phone with Rupert Murdoch and telling Rupert what to do?
I think that
coordinated. It's coordinated.
Everything's coordinated, brother.
But it's still a big loss. That $700 and some odd $1 million.
To Rupert Murdoch? Well, I don't know. How much money's he got?
It's half their net profits for the year. Basically, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a big hit.
Yeah, but when bailouts come, how much of that are they going to get back?
I don't think he gets bailed out for that.
Okay, so real quick,
you can't even write that off.
I sent you a chart, and this is Anheuser-Busch's stock prices.
They fell by $7 billion?
No, look at this. It's the highest it's ever been.
Yeah, because everybody drinks. It doesn't matter.
No, because the truth is, Bryan,
too big. It's too big. It's too big.
The point is this, Bryan, is that you could have something where nobody's buying the product, but the investors are still investing.
You know why? Smart. You know why? Because they know people have short attention spans. And at the end of the day, the Dylan Mulvaney thing was a kerfuffle. And nobody really cares.
By the way, I am 50 years old, and today's the first day I've ever heard the word kerfuffle. Kerfuffle.
It was just a kerfuffle.
Right.
And people are, you know what? People go, I want my beer. What? What is it? Who owns what? Yeah, I know. It's a bummer. I got to drink my beer. And that's how Americans are. And it's just because we have plenty of carbohydrates, protein, and fats. And it doesn't matter because I'm going to go watch TV. And you know what we can do with all politics? It's our luxury for now, is none of us have to be committed. We can all just go like this. We can go, I can't deal with this. It's so complicated. And we go about our day. And then it comes to you and you have a situation like Seattle, like Chicago, like Portland, like et cetera, et cetera. And ultimately you have, if you're not really careful, you have a country like that, right? So,
I mean, they would love to turn us into Brazil.
Sure, you're right.
Turn us into Latin America.
It happens. It becomes so bad until that you can't even believe it.
Well, the browning of Europe, the browning of America is purposeful.
Listen, I'm trying to dig into Staple Street. They're a private firm.
Yeah, they're a private firm.
They're a private firm.
Sam's wrong. Give me the bell.
I do. God,
Right? I mean, I won.
I hesitate to
Won that.
co-sign that victory.
Okay.
But
And the thing about me is you're going to see me ringing the bell a lot.
It's not a victory.
And Sam is quiet because he understands that I'm pretty well informed. I come guns loaded lately because do my homework. And what Sam sees as malfeasance and deliberate blockage, I see as kerfuffles and more kerfuffles.
All right, next up.
All right.
Next
well,
subject.
here's something that Brian's going to be wrong about because he's, as we've mentioned, way too rooted in ego consciousness to open up his mind.
I agree.
Dude, just because you're in Jungian analysis
I totally
doesn't mean
agree
you have to bring
with
your
everything
therapy
you
into
just
this
said.
office.
You are very egocentric.
What in the world is going on with this gang up?
No, listen, it's a good thing at times.
I didn't know it was Pile on Monday.
It's a good thing at times. But
All right.
You would say that the concept of the skinwalker is ludicrous?
The what?
The skinwalker?
Yeah, Bryan, Skinwalker Ranch, Dogmen, fucking chupacabras. We're talking cryptids, Bryan.
Well,
kind of like how people look at you as a cryptid.
These cattle were slaughtered and they were their tongues and anuses were removed.
Yeah.
And their genitalia cut with precision and no blood. Also, vultures and other birds of what's that word?
Prey.
Predators.
No, it's carrion birds.
Yes.
Did not feast on the carcasses. They were
Oh
left.
my God, that's crazy.
There must be some kind of strange fetishistic ritual going on with some weirdo who is
Precision
obsessed
cuts.
who's obsessed with, well, there was a
Jack the Ripper
there
of
was a
cows.
serial killer in Italy or in Europe, I think it was Italy, who would kill couples and they'd find them with their genitals, both their genitals removed in a precision kind of way. I think they caught him and he had all their genitals in formaldehyde jars together. They were together and he collected those. So there are people that are into some weird stuff.
Yeah.
What is your take on this?
Well, I believe it's cryptids or interdimensionals who are just like slicing
don't.
and dicing,
No, you
getting
don't.
into weird stuff.
It's just getting into weird stuff, right?
No, but they're not humans.
No, they're definitely very human. They're all too human.
No,
Because we know that humans have a strange
they're
fetishistic side.
cryptids, Bryan.
No.
Dogman, Bigfoot,
No.
Mothman,
No.
chupacabras.
No, there's no chupacabras.
Yeah,
here.
this is interdimensional.
How many cows had their genitals and tongues removed, please?
6.
Yeah. 6. It was probably the rancher who decided to create a story.
But also there
Okay,
are
so let's go through your mindset, Bryan.
Yeah.
What does he get by mutilating his cows?
Well, there are people that tend to tip cows. I don't know if you know what cow tipping is.
I'm from upstate New York. I know what cow tipping is. It's our national sport.
Well, There are people that like to cow tip, and there are people that like to cut the tongues and anuses and genitals
With precision.
out of cows. Well,
So you're
when
saying
you say
that
precision,
somewhere
Sam,
out
there's
there,
only one other way
Bryan,
to do it.
there is a surgeon
Yeah.
who likes to go and bring his surgery tools into the fields
Yeah.
and take out cows and then do something to these cows that the natural order of nature has decided not to follow through on, which is to pick the flesh off the dead carcasses of animals, and all that's happening.
So you're assuming a whole lot. Number one, when you kill a cow,
yes.
you then take a scalpel and you remove the anus.
Okay.
There's only one way to remove someone's anus.
Yeah.
As someone who has removed anuses out of deer,
Yeah.
which you do, the only way to remove an anus from a cow or a deer or probably a human is with precision. You can't be sloppy about removing the anus, because when you're sloppy about removing the anus is basically a long tube, and you'll get dung everywhere. So the membrane can't be popped. You've got to cut around it very carefully. The same goes for any other genitalia, like the balls or like the vagina or whatever. So, yeah, I guess precision would be one way of saying it, which would be to remove specifically the tongue.
Okay.
All right. So that doesn't really hold water.
Does it say if there's blood anywhere? Because usually these tend to have no blood.
No blood, and a common crime scene from a skinwalker, cryptid, ancient Navajo kind of evil is bloodletting. And
So there's no blood when you can actually remove the anus as somebody, again, who has done his fair share of field dressing.
We know you love anal.
Who's field dressing. You can actually remove the anus without blood. You cut around the membrane. All right. So as somebody
Bryan,
who knows a lot about this.
Okay, Bryan, but tell me about cutting the tongue that is full of blood and why there's no blood anywhere.
It's not necessarily full of blood, and the blood is way back in the throat, probably goes down the throat. Second of all, where was this? And when it comes to birds of prey, they come out in the morning.
Bryan, are you getting tired of holding your eyes open?
They come out in the morning. He probably found these things at 5 a.m. before the carrion come down to feast. So it doesn't hold water.
Bryan, I love that you tend to do this all the time. You answer conspiracies with conspiracies.
What do you mean?
That's the most amazing thing.
What do you mean?
You're like, the Earth axis was probably off a degree and the sun was just the rays of the sun.
Well, there are a lot of birds of prey in Utah, but they don't come out till later on.
This has been investigated in specifically Texas and the Four Corners for some time. I mean, since the 1970s, they've got over 200 cases of these kind of odd
wolf-like creatures 3 times the size of a normal wolf that was impervious to rifle fire. Humanoid creatures facing yellow eyes, spine on a tree. This is what happens when you do this many mushrooms. What you're forgetting is that there is a lot of psychedelics being used in that area. And
by who? The cows?
A bad trip is sometimes you might shoot a cow and remove his anus and his
on mushrooms, Bryan. Take me through that surgery.
When you mix a lot of different psychedelics, it can happen.
I love it, Bryan.
All right,
Bryan, Bryan, you literally are so anti-conspiracy. You come up with an even crazier theory than cryptids.
Do you think that what is
people
cryptids? I don't know what cryptids
committed
are.
Precision surgery on cows' asshole. Is that what you're saying?
Could be some kind of a
That is the most hilarious thing I've ever heard.
What is a cryptid?
We have done 230 episodes, and I can say that's the funniest things ever said on this podcast.
What is a cryptid?
Cryptids are animals that cryptozoologists believe may exist somewhere in the wild but are not recognized.
Zoologists don't. Hold on. Zoologists don't. I need you to rephrase that. Not zoologists.
No,
because zoologists tend to be scientists who are responsible to measurable evidence. Now, what we have here is somebody who loves fiction. And he is going to come up with all kinds of space alien, chicken snake god people who kill 6 cows in Utah. We don't even know if this story is actually true. By the way, I don't even know if this story is true. I don't even accept that 6 cows had their tongues and anuses removed. I said it out loud. I don't even think it's true. Next story, I'm calling BS.
Why are you? Then you're calling Dylan a shitty researcher.
Yes, I am.
Whoa!
Well,
Shots fired.
Cryptids includes the Ninjin.
The Ninjin?
Yeah, are you familiar with the Ninjin?
Well, I haven't seen a Marvel movie in a while.
So you don't believe in Bigfoot?
I sure don't.
This,
Now that's interesting.
this is the Ninjin.
Well, you know what? Looks like about the most harmless creature I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, well,
if I
it's
saw that
not.
thing, I would Muay Thai knee that thing under the chin and he'd go to sleep. All right? Because all you have to do with a Ninjin is Muay Thai knee that fucker under his chin. Say like that.
Brian, he's interdimensional.
You just see that. My hips up.
Brian, he's
He'd be like this.
interdimensional.
He's got no arms. He'd just go.
He's
boom.
interdimensional.
Well, he'd be
Brian,
taking a
your
Muay Thai
knees
knee.
can affect guys from different dimensions.
He'd be taking that knee right to the old chinny chin poo poo, and he'd chip some teeth and go to sleep.
And then
Then
how fast that guy with no
I would
arms is.
surgically, I do because he can't move his arms.
How do
I
you
would
know? He's from a different
surgically
dimension.
remove his
They move
entrails.
at different speeds.
No, that's that baby. That's a person
That's
who
not
didn't.
baby.
Not
That's a
baby,
full-grown-
It's a Ninjin.
That is a
Ninjin.
person who.
His name is
No.
Ninjin,
No.
bro.
That's
You
a
think
person-
Ninja slow, bro.
No, that's a human being raised in a
Ninja
Romanian. No,
precision.
what
That's what that guy is.
You just showed me a person raised in a Romanian orphanage who didn't have access to iodine or good nutrition, and now you have that. That's what they look like, and it's horrible.
Okay, so
I hope to God you never run into a Ninja because they can hear everything and they hear what you're saying right now. And you want to talk about carved out assholes.
See that part of my foot? I will drive that with great precision and great force into this part of his chin. And he will go like this.
And what do
I
you
will
think
send
the
him.
Ninja's gonna do?
I'll
Just
send
wait
him
for you
back
to
to
do
his
it?
dimension. I'll send him back to his dimension because I'll shut him off with that part.
okay,
Say,
so there.
say,
Okay,
like that. Say.
God help us.
so there are a couple corrections to make.
Thank you.
Oh, great.
One, I think what we have on display here is man's greatest weakness, hubris.
Thank you.
Two,
Thank you.
The Ninjin is actually not interdimensional.
Oh, how do you know?
It's on the computer because the computer says so.
Well,
Because computer says. Because computer says. Wood Gypsy says. I don't even know if you're real, dude.
Wood Gypsy says that the Ninjin is not interdimensional. It's actually sub-Antarctic,
Oh,
which gets
snap.
us into our next
there
topic.
we go.
Brian, why is Google hiding the Hollow Earth entrance?
Yeah, Brian, answer that.
Probably because we can't find a machine large enough to measure its density. There's no way to put the Earth into a CAT scan.
Okay. That sounds like a logical
Let me see
answer.
what's going on here. Was this on Reddit, by the way?
Oh, Brian, I'm sorry. Is it not on NBC or MSNBC that's gotten everything wrong the last decade?
Well, I'm just saying, is there a hole in hollow Earth? The Earth is hollow.
Yeah, Brian.
So there might be people living in the Earth.
Brian,
The Ninjin.
why are you mocking the Hopi Indians on the show? And we'll probably get a giant
the
boycott.
Hopi believe in the hollow Earth theory?
Yeah, 100%.
You're mocking the Greeks, the Buddhists. You're mocking the guy who found Halley's Comet,
Yeah,
John Quincy Adams.
John Quincy Adams?
Yeah,
Big Hollow Earth guy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, but the Halley. So Halley was the mathematician who actually predicted that Halley's comet would happen, and I think astronomer, and
How is
mathematician.
that possible, Brian?
Because he's just a genius.
Hold on, Brian. Explain to me how a guy can predict through math something's going to happen
Well, one of the great.
in a variable of space.
Well, because he did. So one of the amazing things about Halley, who was a mathematician and astronomer, and by the way, so did Einstein, and by the way, so did Galileo and Copernicus. The idea was that what kind of revolutionized a lot of people's thought on and part of the Enlightenment was that you had these mathematicians who were studying the celestial bodies and the rotation of the Earth, and they said, and Halley said, I think a comet is going to present itself. And you'd have to look it up, but Halley's Comet comes out once every 14 years or something.
Hold on.
He was able to predict that. And he did it with theorems that are,
It's not like predicting a bus is going to come.
I know. That's what's amazing about math. That's what's amazing about
Bryan.
Newton.
It takes 76 years to journey around the sun.
Think about that. 76 years to journey around the sun.
We'll see it again in 2061, but
that's remarkable.
So the only thing that could be is that there were records of a comet coming by before, and he could have tried to do mathematical.
It's not just that, Sam. There's a whole body of scientists that can tell you exactly when and how celestial bodies are going to move. Halley's Comet was a revolutionary.
But there
event.
has to be an establishment of a comet before for him to know that a comet's going to come by.
No, I can't remember what it was. There were always
Bryan.
records of Halley's Comet coming through.
So he didn't discover Halley's Comet.
No, he predicted when. He predicted exactly the minute it would present itself.
He's famous for analyzing the orbits of comets, which he showed to be elliptical and periodic.
Yes.
And he figured out Halley's Comet in the 1700s. You yourself said he was a genius, correct?
Yes.
So let's just take a look at this really quickly.
Read that out loud, Bryan, for our friends at home.
The legendary scientist who swore our planet is hollow.
All right, Bryan. Man, poor Bryan.
Isn't that amazing, though, that there are mathematicians that can predict things like that?
Did you just ignore that happened there?
Did Halley say that the Earth was hollow?
Yes.
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 I don't know.
No.
My God.
1,000%.
I would have to read on that.
What do you mean you have to read on that?
I would have to read up
Wow.
why
You know
he
what,
thought
Dylan?
it was
I want to
hollow.
say something to you. I think you're doing a great job. I'm really upset that our colleague, and this is becoming the Don Lemon of this show, where he's like just treating the staff like shit.
Well,
okay?
you are not in your prime, and you are.
I know I'm not. I'm sad about
And
that.
you are a woman. Wait, let me. So
In 1692, Halley put forth the idea that of a hollow Earth. He suggested the atmosphere separated multiple shells and that each shell had its own magnetic poles with each sphere rotating at a different speed.
Damn, bro. Think about what he's saying. This.
You know what? I don't know anything about celestial bodies.
You know
and
what's
the
so
Earth.
funny? And so what were you listening right there? Celestial bodies. What else?
And just the Earth's circumference and all that.
Politics, how humans interact.
No, I know a lot about. I know a
relationship
lot.
between
what
men
I do
and
know is that
women.
there's a very reliable body of science.
Yeah.
That you and I benefit from every single day.
Okay.
On all of this stuff.
Okay.
So for example,
But Bryan,
let me educate you because you're adorable.
Okay.
You're adorable.
You're adorable.
Yeah.
You're an adorable.
You're
kid.
adorable human being.
One of the things that's adorable
Bryan,
about you is
can Dylan ring the bell
No.
because you literally
well no because
he set you up, Bryan. It was like
the
they
gentleman
should
was
teach
mistaken.
this
The
in
gentleman was
podcasting classes on how to get somebody to co-sign on something
Yes.
and then show them the opposite evidence, and now they're
Yes,
stuck.
but the gentleman was mistaken. Let me educate
Hold on. So
you.
the guy that was so smart, he could predict the comet to the minute, according to you.
Yeah. And Sam was like, how do you do that? Well, Sam, math.
Okay, math. But then the guy who's a master of math is wrong about hollow Earth.
Sam. Anyway, Sam, I know you think NASA is evil, and for the swarm.
Yeah, I mean, it was started by the
I know you
Nazis.
all think that
It was
NASA,
started by the
I know you think
Nazis.
NASA lies.
It's started by the Nazis.
All you adorable.
Well, I mean, it is off the Hebrew word nasha, which is to deceive.
You're adorable.
These are facts,
You're
Bryan.
an adorable infant.
You're adorable.
So as part of having an infant, I'm responsible for an infant.
Okay.
And let me educate you. Let me slowly but surely, gently educate you.
Gently.
Sam, the farmers that grow all our food, and you eat food? Yeah. And you rely on food? Yeah. You can pay with a credit card. You know nothing about farming. You have very soft hands. You've never tilled a field. But here's the thing, Sam. Knowing when to hydrate your fields, when to water your fields, knowing how to read weather patterns, knowing where to ship, where to take your ship, where not to take your ship, where to take your plane, where not to take your plane, what altitude to fly your plane, what altitude not to fly your plane. All given to us for free by NASA, the weather station, by their weather balloons.
So Bryan,
So I want to take this moment to thank NASA.
Bryan,
Ring the bell to the scientists.
we gotta do something. He's grabbing that and he's literally making the bell mean nothing.
Admit that
because he's just grabbing it and ringing it,
I agree.
and it doesn't mean anything
Admit
anymore.
that NASA is indispensable to farmers, to our entire maritime industry, and to our entire
Bryan,
airline
what you're
industry.
saying right here on this show is we didn't farm before NASA and planes didn't fly before NASA.
Not nearly as effectively.
No. What?
Not nearly
So
as
Bryan, you're
effectively.
saying the farming today is much better than the farming before.
Without question, under all metrics, under all metrics.
Bryan, the ability to farm on a larger scale might be different, but the actual farmers have been great farmers forever.
Yes, and we've had food shortages and famines forever.
Oh yeah,
up until very
happens
recently with
naturally.
technology.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
we have to give NASA its credit.
No, we will not give NASA any credit.
You have to
NASA
give the
can
weather.
go fuck itself.
You have to give their weather
No,
scientists.
we don't have to
Fuck
do
you, NASA.
Yeah,
guys,
thank you,
guys.
Thank you,
guys.
There's consensus.
I will take your
There's
balls
not
away.
consensus, but
I will take your balls away.
okay.
I have been slaughtering this episode.
Yeah, you really ruined it.
Look, there is the Hollow Earth thing. I'm sure that some
Bryan, you
scientists...
can't say this guy's the most brilliant guy in the world and then completely dismiss what he's very adamant about, that there are multiple shells.
He theorized that there that the Earth may be hollow.
Okay, well, you're into ancient wisdom, ancient storytelling.
Not really.
What?
I'm into ancient philosophy.
Bryan, you're
like
reading the
Socrates.
Bible.
So,
Please
like,
stop.
That's crazy,
Stop
man.
picking and
That's
choosing
so not
where you apply
fair
this.
What you're doing.
Okay, fine. I'm okay, fine.
By the
Bad
way,
faith.
in 3 weeks, Lex Friedman will have somebody on talk about Hollow Earth, and Bryan will be like, "Yeah, it's totally real, unbelievable."
I do like the Moloch thing.
Oh wow!
If only you'd known about it a year and a half earlier.
All right, so give me. All right, I do think that there's a great deal of important wisdom in the ancients.
Beautiful.
Thank
Let's
you.
take a look at this.
That guy is.
In ancient Greece, their afterlife, known as the underworld, was said to literally be under the earth. They also believed that you could reach the underworld through a series of caverns. Why you would want to do this, I have no fucking clue. Ask Orpheus. But it was an option, I guess. Also, the gods of the underworld, Hades, Demeter, Persephone, were also known as the chthonic gods. And chthonic literally means subterranean in ancient Greek. Another example, in Dante's Inferno, hell was described as a physical place beneath the earth. It was described as an inverted cone, with the bottom layer being near the Earth's core and the top being at the surface. The Native American Iroquois tribes believed their ancestors emerged from a world beneath the surface. And in Tibetan Buddhism, it's said that under the earth exists the city of Shambhala, which you might be familiar with if you've ever played Uncharted 2.
Now,
So
we're
Bryan,
getting into other dimensions.
the Iroquois listeners.
This is not
insult
fair.
The Buddhist
You
listeners.
guys are not being fair.
No, what with facts?
Look, guys, don't confuse mythology and imagination
With what, Bryan?
with facts.
Okay, Bryan.
Now,
Bryan, when you read the Bible, do you go, "This is mythology" or "This is facts"? What do you read? So now you're going to insult our Christian friends too.
good
Go
question.
on. Thank you, Bryan.
I think there's a difference. When I read the Bible, do I read
Bryan, I'm
truth?
starting to really wonder if I'm needed on the show, or maybe we should just have you in both seats and you can argue with yourself.
I have a question. Are facts the same as truth?
Are facts the same as truth?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah. They're
Facts
not.
are, well, the question is, what are facts anymore?
Yeah, well, there's an endless number of facts, right?
Well, there's a million facts.
Endless,
The
infinite
interpretation of those facts is what it's all about.
So truth is different than facts for me. Like you can point to a lot of facts, and then there are certain truths that you can't measure,
Yeah.
right? So that like I believe that a great deal of what goes on in a lot of religions about love and about treating people as equals are not. You can't make a factual argument. You can't make a measured argument, although I could. But they're truer than the others because they seem to create a better world for us, right? So I'm fascinated with that discussion. I'm fascinated with the question. Are facts the same as truth?
Okay, so
you guys should answer
we're coming
that
to the end of this episode. Dylan, do we want to go into the store I sent you that will send Bryan Callen into a tizzy?
On Rockfin, we do.
Okay, so that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
All right. What is that? Can I get a teaser?
No.
I can't get a teaser for the people?
Okay.
Do you tease fireworks? No, that doesn't
Well,
make
but
any
the
sense.
people watching this might want a little teaser.
Okay.
Give me.
Can I give him a teaser?
Small. Amuse bouche. Amuse bouche.
The Biden administration is completely and utterly illegal. Thank you, guys. See you soon.
When people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken and snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing.
Conspiracy Social Club, a.k.a. Deep Waters.